Hey friends, it is chili for supper tonight at the Bradford house, so let's make some loaded cornbread to go along with it. It is delish and could be a meal in itself. Let's make it. Also, I call it supper. Our last meal of the day is supper, and lunch is lunch. Sometimes it's called dinner. What do y'all call it? Let's work on the goodies that go inside of the batter first. I'm gonna start with 2 green onions and give those a good chop. Next, I've got some fresh chives. I want about 2 tablespoons of fresh chives, so I'm just gonna give those a good little chop. All right, I've got a can of fire roasted whole kernel corn that I'm just gonna drain, and I'm gonna use about 3/4 of the can. I don't have to use the whole thing. For the goods, I've got about 5 pieces of really crispy bacon that I'm just gonna cut into chunks. Put a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil down right into my cast iron skillet. And I've got my oven preheating to 450 degrees. I'm gonna stick the cast iron skillet in there. While it's preheating, let this get nice and warm. All right, I've got some leftover white cheddar and some sharp cheddar in blocks. I always like to grate my own cheese. It just makes a difference to me. So I'm gonna grate these up. I want about 1.5 to 2 cups of cheese when it's all done. To give it a little spice, I just roasted a whole jalapeno for about 20 minutes. Just want to get a kind of a little char on it. I'm gonna seed and stem this and give it a good chop. If you don't have a whole jalapeno, you can use a can of green chilies or you can leave it out altogether. All right, let's start with the batter. I'm gonna do my dry ingredients first, and I'm gonna go with about 1.5 cups of self-rising cornmeal. I'm gonna do 1 cup of AP flour. Right in there. 1.25 teaspoons of baking powder. About 1 teaspoon of salt to the dry ingredients. And then I'm gonna whisk those together and let's make our wet ingredients. I'm gonna start with 1 cup of whole milk, and then I'm gonna crack 2 eggs right into my milk. And I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. This is 1/2 cup, so I'm just gonna use about half of that. Dump that right down in there, and then I'm gonna whisk this together. Okay, I'm gonna just incorporate my wet ingredients to my dry ingredients, get them all mixed up, and then I'm gonna get the cast iron out of the oven. If it looks like it's a little too dry, add a little bit more milk. If it's too wet, add a little bit more cornmeal. You want it pancake consistency. At least that's how I always make it. So this is looking great. Thick, but not too thick. Now we're ready to add the good stuff. I've got 1 can of fire roasted whole kernel corn. I'm not gonna add all of it, probably about 3/4 of the can. There's still a little bit left. I'm gonna add my cheeses. So I've got little more than 1.5 cups, but I've got white cheddar. I have got medium cheddar. I've got 5 slices of crispy bacon. I have got a couple of tablespoons of chopped chives. And then I've got 2 green onions that I sliced up. Now I'm gonna add the jalapeno. It's gonna give it a little kick. I've got my hot skillet, and we are ready to pour the batter in. Skillet's at the right temperature. You're gonna get a little bubbling around the edge. All right, 450 degree oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until the top's golden brown. Look at this beauty. Oh my gosh. I tell you, this could be a meal in itself. Look at the bacon. Let me get some chives, that bacon, and some cheese. About to put this with a bowl of chili and have supper. Bye, y'all.